Hello and welcome back. In today's video, I am going to be draping fabric on my dress form and I'm going to be making a dress from nothing. That sounds so silly. Now, many moons ago, let's say 12 moons, I picked up a ball gown or like a military ball dress from the Salvation Army. It was $2.49 and I thought, wow, this dress would make a very nice other dress because I like the fabric. This is the dress that I got. It has very subtle decorations. I think this would be considered beaded embroidery. I'm not 100% sure on that. It is a strapless dress. Here's the back, and this little band comes right off. It's got a hook and eye here. Now, I really don't have any intentions on what I am going to be making. I want something out of this fabric because I do like this fabric. It's got a good amount of swoosh to it. Now, what I'm thinking is a Victorian style 1890s dress with a lobster tail. I thought that would be really cool. Now, I am pretty sure that I only have enough fabric from this dress to make the skirt portion and probably the waistband. But it did come with a shawl or a scarf, and I have already used that to create part of the bodice. I'm going to go ahead and put the footage in here from the other day where I was draping the fabric over the mannequin and kind of figuring it out exactly what it was that I was trying to do and what look I was going for. Well, this is what I have come up with. I don't know what the style is. I think it looks really, really cool though. I want to talk a little bit about some of the details and the choices that I'm considering because I don't know how to move forward on this, I suppose. Now, the process of me making this bodice was actually pretty simple. I took some random fabric that I had that I did not intend on using for anything, With the fabric draped on the mannequin, all I did was draw out the lines where I wanted the seams to be. I was creating my own pattern because I had no idea what I wanted to do. Once I had it sewn together, I thought, wow, that looks really cool. I feel like I should be adding some ruffles to the seam. That is, I get the chest seam, I suppose. I don't know. So I added the ruffles and I thought, wow, that looks pretty okay. And then it started giving me the vibes of the Victorian that I was thinking of, feeling for. It just happened naturally. More likely, the ruffles in this top kind of makes me feel like Victorian vampire. So I kind of want to feed on that. I want to continue going with that vibe that I'm feeling from it. The top here's the collar. It's just a collar. It's nothing fancy. It's not sewn yet, obviously. And this is just a fabric bow that I made, but I'm moving it so that you can see the collar. Boom. Then I found at about a yard or so of black, I want to say printed, I don't know the terminology here, guys. I found some lovely black. I found some lovely black fabric in my fabric stash, and I thought, oh yeah, that goes with it. I have enough of this for literally the front skirt panel. It's like a half of a panel, but it'll add some swoosh and some color to the overall dress, so I'm thinking pretty cool. Now the skirt did have a weird squared off area, so I cut that off, and when I did, I saw that the square fit over this area perfectly. Originally, I cut out the chest piece as just one piece before I cut it in half because I want it to open in the front. And this was the chest piece that came up, and I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. That looks so cool. So now I can't make up my mind. Like, do I really want to rip the whole thing just to replace this and put this here? Maybe. And then I also thought, well, if that's, you know, the black looks so good. If I'm not going to replace it, because that is a whole thing, taking apart the bodice. Okay, it's like a half a thing really, because it's just this piece. I could do it. I cut some black tulle ribbons, and I thought if I ruffled this up and used the ruffles here, I wouldn't have to take off the whole chest panel, just the ruffles, sew on new ruffles, and then it has the black texture and the, well, it's color, yeah, the color, the blackness and the texture of it. I'm not explaining this well. And I have this, and if I had enough of red fabric or even enough of the black fabric, I would do like an inverse of this and make a second one, but I don't. So I don't know which way to go with this. What do you think? The black ruffles instead of the red ruffles, or the black chest piece instead of the red chest piece? You know, I'm asking for your opinion, but this is like middle beginning of the video, and there's going to be an ending, so it doesn't matter. I also just realized that I didn't mention about the sleeves, and again, because I didn't have enough fabric for sleeves, I decided to use the black lace for sleeves, and it's going to be like a bishop sleeve where it's going to gather at the bottom. I think it'll be super cute. And then I have this ruffle here, which I'm going to be placing at the end of the sleeve, like so. Have a little bit of that black poking out, but I think that'll be so cool. All right, so my next task is to disassemble this dress. I'm going to use my seam ripper, rip apart all of the seams, and take off this, you know, it looks like it's hand sewed, like each and every single bead. And I'm not sure if I want to seam rip every single one of these. However, creating a little bucket of like these little things whenever I do want to learn how to do this could be useful. Or I could just cut it off and leave enough seam to be able to reuse this and sew it. That's an option. Oh, that's already its own thing. Oh, I might be able, you know what? It might just be like a trim with little beads on it because this part comes up. The liner is now sewn to the bodice. I sewed them right sides together along the side seams, the bottom, and the arms. I left the collar seam open, so this is where I'm going to flip it inside out at. Right side out. Right side out. I've done something wrong here. Okay, I'm right sides together again. It's the armholes. Dang it, I have to go rip those seams. It is the edge of the armhole, so it's not that big of a deal if I lose a little bit from it. The bodice is almost done. I will be moving on to making the collar. Well, I have it made, putting the collar on, and also the sleeves. Now there's a few things about this bodice, like the ruffles. I don't much care for the ruffles. They're actually kind of weird, I think. I haven't decided if I'm going to do buttonholes, little hook and eye closures, or even grommets. Still making up my mind on that. Maybe the grommets, so I can like lace it closed. This is going to be fitted over a corset, or a corset, however you pronounce it. So the corset will be the main structure of the top and also hold the weight of the skirt. And I think I'm going to make one more, if not two more, for overskirts to go over it, because it's definitely missing the wow factor right now. And the last thing would be that it is about an inch too wide on each side. And I'm thinking though, because the skirt is high-waisted, and then with the corset on, it adds a little bit of extra fabric. So I don't think that I'm going to snip any fabric off, fix it, make it tighter. I considered. No, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but I was going to sew some darts right here, but then I thought, well, the lining's already done. I already lined it, and it looks nice. So let's not mess it up. Let's just make the thing, and then in the end, if it turns out that the bodice is still not the way I want it to fit, I will then sew in some darts. Now, before I put the sleeves on, I need to hem up the armholes, I suppose. Basically, I'm going to take both sides, fold them in on each other, creating the hem, and then I'm going to sew it like this so that it has a really nice hem. Off of this, once that's done, I will then be adding the sleeves. Because the sleeves are lace, I wanted to make sure that it's going to have a finished edge so it doesn't, I don't know, have the fraying poking out because it's lace. So it's just my thought. Now here's the collar. Similarly to the armhole, I'm going to be taking the sides, and I already have them ironed or pressed in. I don't know the terminology. I'm going to be taking that and placing it around the collar and then sewing it in place. It will also have a nice hem. Look at that, I'm getting better. Don't know the terminology, but an outfit really comes together for sure. All right, I'm going to get started. Well, here she is. I'm at the point to where I could throw some buttons or some grommet holes on the bodice and then call her done. But there's a few things. So these ruffles, they're really not sitting with me right. I don't know. Now, I didn't go off of like any era or genre or years of fashion in order to create this. This came directly out of my brain. I didn't know what I was doing. And you know what? It doesn't look bad. The sleeves are okay. I don't hate them. They're not wide enough or voluminous enough at the top though. It's like, and I cut out an extra large bishop sleeve, but apparently I did something wrong and the sleeve is fitted on the top. Whereas if you were looking at fashion and bodices in the years of like 1875 to like 1898-ish, they have the big sleeves on top. Sometimes they're fitted on the bottom, or they're big on the bottom and fitted on the top. It's what I'm thinking for this here is if I were to, and I really don't think I have enough fabric. This is all the fabric I have left of the dress that I mutilated. Looks good though, okay. I'm not gonna have enough of a sleeve here, but I thought, what if I add a top sleeve? So let me see if I can figure this out. I don't know, that we're not getting the real look here. Let's see. Pin this in place. Okay. You know, actually that's not bad. But I might have enough. I don't think I have enough. How am I gonna do this? Alternatively, I have the black fabric that I used as the liner here. Let's see on the other side. I'm gonna take all of the pins. All right, Bo, you're going in the back right now. Not the black. Yeah, not the black. That doesn't look great. I think maybe the ruffles aren't sitting with me well because I have them here. And then, I mean, okay, I did it on the sleeve so that like it would tie in. That makes sense. Not enough rufflage. So from the years of like 1880 to 1889, there was a lot of ruffles on the skirts. And this would be considered technically the underskirt. So what I would like to do, need to do, and probably going to do, choose your phrase here, I'm going to use some more of this black lace that I have and create the tiered or layered bustle that goes in the back. Also, I was sure to leave about, I think it was like a 2 or 3 inch difference from the front of the skirt to the back of the skirt so that I could make a lobster tail. No, that's it, but a bustle? I think it's called a bustle. Here's the bodice. On the inside of the bodice, as I was putting it on last night, I had to open up the lining because I realized what I did when I was sewing it together. I was sewing the armholes and I was pulling the lining to make it match the edges of the outer bodice. I don't know if any of this terminology is correct, but whenever I was doing that, I pulled it too tight, or my measurements were something was off, and it made the inside way tighter than the outside, which caused the outside to bubble, and it looked really weird. So what I'm gonna do here is just take some more of that black fabric. I'm gonna cut out some fabric about the size of the gap here, and I'm just going to patch it over, like we're patching a hole in a bouncy house, if you will. See, that's really not bad. That's actually borderline cute. I do dig it. I like it. But I'm thinking really it needs more on the sleeves. I also have to figure out what's going on with like, what am I doing in the front? Am I gonna do buttons? Am I gonna do grommets? Am I gonna do like a lace-up thing? If I am doing a lace-up thing, I'm gonna need like a chemise to go up underneath it because I don't have one. So therefore I would have to make one in black because I don't have any more red. I have black. I have a lot of black. This strip here, my intention was to use it for the bias tape. Here it is. To enclose this, but whenever I sewed the liner on, I thought, no, that's pretty good. That's clean. That's a clean line. I feel like I probably do need more ruffles, but I don't have enough fabric. So using the lace that I have here to create the outer skirt, the layered whatever in the back, I think that is what I'll do. And you know, if it works, it does, and if it doesn't, that sucks. Oh, I dig it. I really do. This is cool. I made this with no pattern. Okay, no. I drafted a pattern, but it came from my brain, and I did not buy a pattern, so boom. Good morning, it is the next day. I'm going to be working on this throughout the day. I probably won't be talking much. It is Monday. We do homeschool, so we do have school today. And I'll be working on this in my free time. There was a few things that I wanted to talk about real quick before the house gets moving. Now for this bustle, I really did just wing it. I wung the heck out of it. I double layered up the lace here because with only one layer, it wasn't giving the drapery and poofiness that I was looking for. I do feel like that will probably be changed once I get or once I make the bustle or the lobster tail that's going to go in the back. Hi, good morning. So my tasks for today is, one, I need to make a waistband to go around it that is going to tie. Before I take it off of here though, I am going to need to do like a tuft stitch basically, where I'm going to be stitching these gathers in place, hopefully to keep up this voluminosity that is happening. I need to trim down and hem the bottom, and I also need to hem the front part here. So it kind of peekaboos like this, which gives some floofiness on the side to cover up some of the, it's not a harsh seam because I have that seam hidden, but it just gives a little something extra. I still haven't decided what I'm doing on the sleeves. I don't have enough red fabric to continue with that. Also, I feel like probably there should be some ruffles down here at the bottom. Bless you. And there are no ruffles. Again, not enough fabric. I have this lace, and that's what I'm working with. He's a good boy. Do you need to go outside? All right, well, I have some things to do before I get started on this, so I'm going to go do those, and I'll be back in just a bit. I am now to the point where I am ready to close the bodice up. What I am going to be using are hooks and eyes that I harvested from a bag full of old bras that I don't wear anymore. My options are black and silver. I'm going to do my best to use only black, but if I need to add a few silver in there, so be it. Well, she is done. Not completely though, but I'm saying she's done because I am out of fabric. And we have come to a point where it looks like an outfit that is mostly pulled together. So we're going to call her done. First, we're going to start with a base layer. I do not have a chemise, so I am using this onesie. It'll do. Next, we add a corset. Now for the stockings. Now we add the bustle. Now time for the petticoat. Now this one's weird. Petticoat on. Obviously this is a petticoat not meant for a bustle. And now we can finally don the outfit. Skirt, overskirt, bodice, hat. I feel like this might ride a little high. Also a fluffier petticoat, I think, or maybe a couple. Well, it is now time for the wrap up where I will discuss things that I did like about this project and things that I can improve on next time. Also, things that I would like to fix. Example, this gaping hole here in the middle, and it's not a hole, but it is gaping. So one thing that did not go very well when making the bodice portion itself is the closure here in the front. So the way that I guess I made it, either the lining was smaller than the outside of the fabric or something went wrong. Where the inside lining turned out to be like 2 inches smaller than the outside garment, which made no sense to me, but that's what happened. So it's tighter up at the top than it is on the bottom. It's actually looser, and there was always about a 2-inch difference in fabric, and it's still here even with all these layers on. So in the future I will be going back and fixing the entire bodice, I think, by adding lace and trim here in the front and figuring out a way to, I guess, better close this so that it doesn't have the gaping effect that's happening. Also the sleeves. They're cute, but when I cut out for a bishop sleeve, it should have been one of the puffy ones. I cut out the wrong sleeve pattern. I should have gone for the 1880s balloon type. It's like a mutton chop. I think that's what I don't know. It's like voluminous up at the top. But it's voluminous at the bottom. I do like that. I think also because of the extra fabric, this makes me feel really wide. I don't know why. I'm assuming that's what it is. But I do think that is my only transgression or issue with the outfit is the bodice itself, and it's how it closes. But I absolutely love this dress. Yes, it's considered a dress. I know it's 5 pieces, but it is considered a dress. Also, I do want to probably get a bigger, thicker, poofier, fluffier, choose your adjective, petticoat, so that it kind of fluffs and voluminizes the skirt portion a little bit more. The bustle that I'm using is one that I created from scrap fabric. I was trying to figure out what it is that I was doing. I will be having a video coming out shortly talking all about the bustle, and I realize there are a lot of other videos and more content and information on bustles and historical dressing, but since it's something that I'm interested in and it's things that I actually do want to learn about, I figure let's go ahead and I'll do my research and then I will pass on my information, my knowledge, the things I learn with you guys. Well, I'm pretty happy with this. Now, it is Friday night. I'm going to go put on a movie with the kids, have some pizza, maybe some ice cream, and we're just going to have a family night. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me while I made this dress. It took me a little over a week, which really, that's not so bad as time frame goes. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. If you feel like sticking around, hit the subscribe button. I do my best to post at least once a week, although it doesn't exactly work out like that. I post when I can. I am calling this outfit 1880s adjacent. It is historical adjacent. Yeah, I'm chuffed. You know what's so funny? You don't know what clothes are going to suit you until you start wearing things that you wouldn't typically otherwise wear in this modern world of fast fashion that we live in. What's happening with my lips and my words? Well, thanks again for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.